What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on this E30. We need to go through the work list on trying to get this thing going and resolve issues. So we're not going to get through everything today, but we're going to start with the basics to get this thing running, or at least get it to a point where it can run. There's a few things we're going to do before we try and crank it to see where it is, what's happening. Now I've got to phone a friend to try and get the thing actually started, but there's a few steps, like I say, we have to do. So the first thing is obviously make sure your ECU is connected in the car, and make sure that your PC with the ECU software is plugged in. So in this case we're running an ECU Master Classic. The next thing we need to do is we need to set the engine to TDC number 1 firing, and you need to make sure that there is a mark you can see. So in this case, like I say, this is an M44 with the ITB setup. That's why it's running a custom ECU. And in South Africa, on the E30s, we never got the M42, M44 in these cars, in this chassis. So this guy has retrofitted this engine into this chassis. And then the other thing is you cannot see anything down there. So we are going to make our own mark down the bottom to see where TDC is, so that when we go with the timing light and we see where it's actually picking up, then we actually have a reference. So first things first, we're gonna mark TDC. Okay, so that's why we pulled the valve cover off, because this is an M44, so we needed to make sure that we were in the right place. I'm gonna make a mark in a place where I can see it with the timing light. Yeah. You can see there, the camera would focus. So basically there, I've made a mark just to show. When the timing light flashes, I can see number 1 firing, so that's our reference. Then we'll crank it to see where we are relative to TDC. So the next task is to check the outputs, this being injector output and plug output, so in other words spark plug output. This engine is going to run coil on plug ignition with the R8 coils, the Audi R8 coils, same as my engine. So we're going to check each individual coil. There's in ECU Master software you can test each individual coil that is firing and each individual injector. So that's what we're going to do now. Zander is going to be checking on the plugs. We're going to start with the ignition coils first. I'm going to run it on the software. So we're going to start with ignition number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Plug in number 2.
Yep.
Number 3.
Yep.
Number 4.
Yep.
Okay, next thing we are going to test is the injectors. We should just be able to feel, if you put your hand on, or your finger on the injector, you should be able to feel. Number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Yeah. Well.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good news. So we know at least the wiring is correct. There's earth, there's power, they're working. So that's a good, really good start. But I have already found something, and that is, it looks like there is no TPS. So if Zander just crank open the throttle, we're not getting any TPS signal. Yeah, there's nothing happening with the TPS. So that is already looks like a challenge. Next thing we're going to do is we need to see if we're getting RPM signal. So we're going to need to crank it and then see if we're getting any RPM. So what we'll do is we'll unplug all the coils, pull out the injectors, and then there's nothing caught up on the motor.
Nope.
It's in neutral. So we can't get the thing to crank, and the owner is not answering. So we're going to jump it. Zander's going to go on the starter. No RPM signal. So we are not getting RPM signal, we are not getting TPS. So these are the challenges with project cars and other people's project cars. So this had a very fancy, a really good wiring harness made, but you know, the harness was made here, the car was in a different province, and so it's been a real challenge. So that's why the car has ended up by me. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to fault find and then just isolate, you know, all the cables, little cables, are they not broken from end to end, and then you know, is everything working the way it should. So yeah, probably you get the wiring guy out here. Looks like there's a voltage thing as well. We can't get it to crank on the key. Fun times with these things, but we do have a we found the problem. Well, there's your problem. Well, there we go, that'll do it. Anyway, as I was saying, there's a list of mechanical things we also have to do on this car. So what we're doing now is we are going to take the ITBs off. And the reason we're doing that is because he wants us to clean up some of the cables. Also the fuel lines, we need to sort those out. There's a couple of leaks and yeah, some of the wiring is not great. So so we're going to take the ITBs off, and that'll give us access to the plug and the wiring underneath the harness that comes from the ECU, and then we'll be able to check it out from there. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so these are the ITBs that are made up for him. It is this is the original M44 manifold that we cut, and then we had a billet manifold that someone made up for Toyota ITBs, and so yeah, we retrofitted it and got it to work. So really nice piece. I vapor blasted it. Now we just got to get it to work. Okay, so now that gives us access to, I see he's put in an Epman, this is a vacuum manifold for reference and whatever else he needs. We got to go through and isolate why the TPS is not working, and here's the other crank sensor cable, so we've got to go through that. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so we need the pin out, obviously. So primary trigger is number 7. Yeah. Yeah, correct. It's a reference to the ECU. Oh man. Okay, I can see what happened, yeah. No, I see. So you got a red cable that's coming out there. Yeah, the red cable's tied up. So there's the green, a yellow and a green. So, not that one, this one. So take the tape off. Okay, the yellow cable. Okay, so I think we've found out what's happening with the crank sensor wiring. So we've jerry-rigged it. And Zander's gonna go again. Let's go. Yay! Cool. So we've got signal. So that was, I don't know, some issue with the way they wired this. It basically needed an earth and a couple other things. So yeah, we're good. All right, so we can carry on. All right, it's a new day, and we're back on this thing. I'm just going to kind of give you an update of where we are. So we've fixed the oil leaks. In doing so, we've obviously had to move the subframe up and down to change a couple of things, and I'll show you why on the steering. But ultimately, we found two strip bolts on the subframe, so that adds to the list of wonderful things we have to do there. There was an oil leak on the valve cover, so we've replaced the valve cover seal. One of the things is that these engines didn't come with this chassis in South Africa, so I've mentioned that before. So this has been retrofitted to this chassis using a sump from the UK, but I think in the UK they were, I can't remember if they're right or left-hand drive. Anyway, the steering column is a challenge with these headers, and let me show you why. Right, so this is the steering column for the E30, the original one, and I can't remember, I think it's in this orientation. And it usually has a little rubber bush that sits in here, something like that. Right, so what's happened is the rubber bush has been removed because it was clashing with the exhaust header. But now the problem is that this also seems to sit a bit lower. So I'm not sure if the subframe was changed as well. But ultimately this needs to, basically this gap needs to close a lot more. But then this pin pushes through and hits this universal joint and all that. So then this thing is still too long. So basically we're going to have to modify this whole column to be able to fit. So that's one of the things we have to do. Then one of the other things we have to do is that we have to change a lot of the lines to AN lines, because he has a combination of AN and these rubber clamp, well, normal hose fittings. So there aren't AN lines all the way to the tank. And so we have to use an AN to rubber hose connector. He's used just AN lines, trying to just clamp them down with a hose clamp, and those don't work. That doesn't work. So we're going to have to go get a whole bunch of fittings, AN fittings and those connectors and all of that. So that's what we also have to do. We need to parts source for this car. We need to fix those broken sections on the subframe. So let me take you through the rest of the shop while we're busy with this, and I will show you what we're doing. All right, so here on the lift we've got the Golf, and what we've started doing here is we've started prepping the chassis, because this Golf has raced for a very, very, very long time, and it's done a lot of hard racing, and because it makes so much torque and so much power, it's starting to see a lot of deterioration in the chassis. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done to repair a lot of the chassis, and that's what we're doing. So we're prepping it for that repair. We're also getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff that's not necessary, and so there's, like I say, just a lot of work happening in the background on this car. So that's why it's in the air. We've also given it a clean underneath, and obviously a whole bunch of crap came off of that. So let's walk. We're also going to be doing AN lines from back to front on this car. So because it runs ethanol, ton of work happening on this. On the Fiesta, obviously we found that the fuel pump is not working at all. So I've managed to source another fuel pump, but then I found a leak in the tank, so we have to repair that. I need to get another tank. So a few things happening here. We're waiting for the other tank and a couple of connectors. All right, on my car, I will show you at another stage, but basically I need to get the proper cat cam valve buckets for this engine. So that's another whole whack of money that I wasn't anticipating. So yeah, I'm just saving up for that. Because we have to do it right, you know. So yep, so this is waiting for now. All the stuff is with the engineers, and so yeah, we're waiting for that.